Welcome along to The Final Word. Myself and Michael Owen, of course, here every Monday Night Football to analyse all of the Premier League action. Our special guest this weekend, the former West Ham and current first-team coach, Kevin Nolan. We'll hear from him in a moment, but we're going to begin with the Monday Night Football, which was an East Midlands derby, which went the way of Leicester by 4-0 at the King Power. We're delighted to start the show by talking live to the Foxes manager, Brendan Rodgers. Thank you very much indeed for joining us, Brendan. It's nice to see you smiling. First win of the season. Just how good does that feel for you tonight?
Well, it feels really good, Steve, obviously with the performance as well. We've actually played well in some of the games that we've had, especially here at home. We're 2-0 up against Brentford, played really well, and against Southampton, but shot ourselves in the foot in those games. So we should have won by now. We've had a tough fixture list, but the international break gave us a chance to reset, and we were able to refocus again. And I thought the players then in a big game tonight for us were outstanding.
Brendan, how just looking from the outside, how difficult has it been? It feels like it's not been exactly what it said on the tin in recent months for you in terms of losing your best players, not being able to reinvest and things like that. It looks from, as I say, from the outside, it's been really tough. And how's that sort of been to manage and keep that morale when you're used to managing teams at that top end of the league?
Yeah, it's been a challenge. There's no doubt about it. When I came here, Michael, I knew I wasn't taking a top 6 club, but what I wanted to do was take the team into the top 6, and we were able to do that. And obviously win the FA Cup and win a Community Shield. So, but where it's very, very difficult for a club like ourselves, and in football in general, especially a club like ourselves, it's to build on success, because people think that sometimes you set the foundation where we've been, but it's very, very difficult, and of course we didn't have the resources over the course of the summer to do anything, and so that was very frustrating, and of course for the players. And I think that the early part of the season, I think you sensed that, but like I say, we were able to reset, and it has been a challenging period, there's no doubt, but I'm very fortunate here. I've got a brilliant group of players that give me everything every day, and we just talked a wee bit more over the break about having a greater desire to not concede goals, because we know we can score, we know we can play football well, but we have to show greater desire, and that ultimately, I think we've seen that this evening.
And on that, Brendan, the first clean sheet of the season, has it given you a foundation psychologically to go and build on tonight now? Well,
it has to. I think that I said before the game that this was a season-changing game, where if we can get the result and get the performance, then that's going to give us a lot of confidence going forward. So, because like I said, it's not as if we've been scrambling. In our last game away at Tottenham, I thought we played really well, but then we naively opened ourselves up in the last 15 minutes, and then the scoreline looks a lot worse than maybe what the performance was. But tonight we were a lot tighter. We still had that fluidity and the mobility and the rotation in the team, but we were solid defensively, and that's fundamentally very important to win games.
And Brendan, just picking out individual players, I wanted your thoughts on James Maddison, of course, scoring a couple of goals tonight. He's one of those players that can, bring a rabbit out the hat. What about his form at the moment?
He's been amazing, but it's been over 18 months, Michael. He's, I always get asked on him, and he's an absolute joy to work with. As a player and as a guy, he sees the game. His view of the game is superb. He has big personality, and it doesn't matter if it's here or it's any of the big teams. He can go away and he can affect games, and he's really matured over these last few years. And what he has, he's one of the top players in the country in terms of creating goals and scoring goals. But he's also added that bit of aggression to his game, which is important. So, yeah, a joy to work with. Brilliant player, really, really good guy, and he's still got improvements to make.
Well, listen, Brendan, thank you very much indeed for joining us tonight. I'm sure you'll enjoy this evening a little bit more, so we really appreciate your time.
Well done, guys. Good to see you, Kevin.
Yeah, you too, mate. Well done.
Cheers. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Brendan Rodgers, live there for you at the King Power Stadium on the back of that East Midlands derby win, which begins our review of the Premier League weekend.